would like to give some tips for the introverts. And then maybe also highlight some cliches that we can have regarding the introverts. So the first tip I would give is, and it's gonna sound very cheesy, but accept who you are. You know, in this world geared toward the extroverts, it'd be very easy for you to think that there is something wrong with you, that you do not belong. And in order to compensate, you might be tempted to play the outgoing one, to play the extrovert. But the problem with that is you are not, staying true to yourself. And you will find that very exhausting, very draining. Of course, there'll be time where, you need to go out there, otherwise you're going to miss out. You need to project yourself. You need to take risks in your communication style. But, choose your moments. Otherwise, you're going to be drained. And, if you're not true to yourself, that's going to come back to you at some stage. So accept who you are, even if that doesn't please everybody. So a second thing for your consideration is let people know. Do it your own way. It doesn't have to be a grand announcement. You can do it on one-on-one. You can do it by email, all the likes. But I think it's very important for you to communicate why you act this way sometimes. You need to give the real reason, for instance, when someone, wants you to do something and that you're not comfortable with doing. For instance, after a day at work, some extroverts might want to go for drinks. That's the way they recharge their own batteries. But for you, unless they are very close friends, you don't find that relaxing at all. So you might be tempted to go just to fit in. And then when you get home, you're even more tired. Or you'll be tempted to just give the wrong reason. You would say, oh, sorry, I'm busy, I have to do something else. But I think you need to tell them, sorry, I spent the day at work. Now I need my own space. I need time to recharge my batteries. Because if you don't, people will misunderstand you. So it's, in a way, it's a matter of to learning to be frank about your introversion. So another thing that I would recommend is don't be content just to be a good listener. When you start having a look at qualities of introverts, something that comes back often is that they are good listeners. They show empathy, they are very patient, and they get complimented for it. So I have actually this theory that introverts are, good listeners just because they are sensitive and they don't want to interrupt others. So you have a voice. And even if your communication style is not the same, is not standard, and not the same as the others, it doesn't matter. The largest companies in this world, the best works of art, the most innovative inventions started with just one person having an idea, not by a group of 10 people talking about something. That's the next step. So, you can make it happen just on your own. So the world needs to hear your voice. Don't just be a listener. So there is another cliche about the introverts is that they lack confidence. So actually, when you look on the internet, there's a lot of people trying to fix the introverts by giving them more confidence, by teaching them how to be more confident. But chances are they're already confident, but they just don't show it the same way. But what is very important is that you are assertive. So show your confidence or not, it doesn't matter as long as you are assertive and you get what you want and you ask for what you want. Look at Elon Musk. So he's a CEO of Tesla. He's actually one of the top 4 richest people I mentioned in the intro, and I think he's number 3 at the moment. If you see him talk, he doesn't project confidence. He admitted himself he doesn't like talking in public or with a lot of people, but he said he's a CEO, so he has to sometimes. But look at what he achieved, and he's CEO of several companies, very exciting companies. He had some ideas and he made them happen. Did he have to show loud confidence for that? No. So do not change your communication style for others. Sometimes you need to adapt, but stay true to yourself. Be assertive. So another and final thing, I suppose, is, as an introvert, you need to understand the extroverts. And sometimes I acknowledge that you might be able to find them a little bit frustrating, a little bit over the top, because they need to talk. You could send them an email. The first thing they do when they receive the email, they give you a phone call. Say, well, I just received your email there. And they invade, quote unquote, your space sometimes. They talk loudly when you don't really like this communication style. So they are not doing that to bother you, but they are a different communication style. They have different needs as well. So what is very important for you is to set your own boundaries, and say, okay, this is my space. I don't always like to workshop things, to brainstorm things out loud. I like to have some time for me to go back and think about things, and after I can, go to you and have a chat with you about this. So it's very important that you communicate that to them. But don't think they are doing that to bother you. And actually, to coach an extrovert, it takes a little bit more time initially than to coach an introvert, because for an extrovert, they are stimulated by the outside. They take external cues, if you like. But the purpose of coaching is to guide them through their intuition. So initially, they need to be driven inside, inwards. And then from then, they need to be guided outside to take action from what their intuition and what their conscience told them. So it takes some extra steps initially, but for the introverts, they're already in there in a way. So this is a little bit easier to start with.